They're all going to stand one day. Can you imagine it? At the judgment seat of Christ, to give an account for the deeds done in the body. I saw the dead, small and great, every king that's ruled over England, the caliphs of Baghdad, the Maharajas of India, the multimillionaires, the billionaires, you buccaneers who died in the Spanish Main, and the people that sank in all the great ships during the war, are the voice of the Son of God. They're going to rise. Millions of them, billions of them, trillions of them. And they're all going to stand at the judgment seat of Christ. I'll be fascinated when Pontius Pilate stands before Jesus. I think he'll feel less comfortable than Jesus felt standing before Pontius Pilate. When you see all the redeemed of all the ages, when you look there and say, you know, there's Abraham. I didn't think he looked quite like that. See, those are the men who walked with Jesus. See, there's Paul. He gave his colossal intellect to God. For all the prayer warriors, America has produced some of the greatest. Praying Payson of Portland had a floor harder than that. And at the side of his bed, when he knelt, he used to pray and pray and pray. And when they washed his body for burial, he had great big hoofs on his knees like camels. But you know, if God should stamp eternity or even judgment on our eyeballs, or, if you like, on the fleshy table of our hearts, I'm quite convinced we'd be a very, very different tribe of people, God's people in the world today. We live too much in time. We're too earthbound. We see as other men see. We think as other men think. We invest our time as the world invests it. We invest our money. We're supposed to be a different breed of people. And it's not only true that we live in a world of bankrupt politics, we live in a world, and this is the most tragic of all, of a bankrupt church. I think again of a statement Dr. Tozer made to me once. He said, Len, you know what? He said, we'll hardly get our feet out of time into eternity and gaze on eternity while we bow our heads in shame and humiliation and say, my God, look at all the riches there were in Jesus Christ, and I've come to the judgment seat almost a pauper. Most of our joy is clapping our hands and having a good time, and then afterwards we're talking all the drivel of the world. And because there isn't enough joy in the house of God, we need entertainment, because entertainment is the devil's substitute for joy. Oh, to be lost in Him, to be consumed in Him. I think before we point the finger at the world, we better turn to the church and say, look, we better all get sackcloth and ashes and humble ourselves and say, Almighty God, when I see the church in the New Testament, they didn't have stately buildings, they didn't have paid evangelists, they didn't have a lot of money, they didn't have organization. But I'll tell you what they did, they turned the world upside down. And I'm embarrassed to be part of the Church of Jesus today, because I believe it's an embarrassment to a holy God.